Hey there, this is Ragnon, and this is my guide for Mythic Loom'ithar from a healer POV, specifically Resto Druid. So to start, Mythic changes. There are 4 pylon locations that will need to be soaked. There's going to be a beam that goes into the center of the boss, and you'll need to assign 2 groups of 2 soakers per pylon. So I was assigned to Star. You can see it kind of underneath my icon here. Sorry, that's in the way. But I was assigned as part of the second group. So every other set, I was going to Star to soak. Gallo was soaking first, and then I was soaking second. Um, those will not always appear. The weak aura can't detect whether or not that's the location that needs to be soaked. Not every location needs to be soaked every single time. So you just need to be ready and check if it's there. If it's not, you can go back to your normal business. Throughout this fight, it's very important to make sure that you are dodging your feet. It's very easy to get hit by the circles if you're not looking. I treat this kind of like Bandit on initial prog. I'm looking at my feet and I'm just kind of honestly doing my ramping and healing in my peripheral, focusing first most on staying alive. The other change for Mythic difficulty is there are going to be 2 lines of webs, and those tangles that you would DPS are immune unless they get hit by a tank beam. So the kind of like a Hollander's style beam. So each tank will need to hit one with the beam, preferring the first one, the close one first, and then the outside one second, so that it can be DPS'd in that order. Okay, let's take a look. So as we're starting, I'm ramping. Make sure that if you are not actively soaking, that you are not standing on the marks. You need to be standing in between them. So here I try to give the tanks room because they're going to be moving around with that frontal. Watching my feet for these dodge circles that are about to come up. And then right here, as we're about to run out for this, those circles come out. It's nice if you can stand more inside the boss or off to the side. That way you're not baiting the circles on your exit path, because that can get slower classes killed. Here I'm pre-positioning for the second soak. There was no soak on Star this time, so I was able to free to go and do my own thing. In a second here, I think I get the tether mechanic, so to see what that looks like. Periodically, the boss will select people. They'll get a purple arrow over their head, and they'll get sucked into the middle of the boss, and they'll get tethered, just like on the other difficulties. I get it here. You want to wait just a little bit until the tangles are done, and then you don't want to just dash out and break it immediately, because if you are standing on top of other people when it breaks, it can stun them and kill them. So here you can see I just go into bear and I just carefully break it off to the side of the other ones. The second set where the whole raid is running out, that's where I'm using my roar. I'm running a 1-minute roar for this fight. So here I'm making a mistake. I'm standing too close to purple and it's about to get a pylon. So fortunately somebody said something in comms and I moved off. And just giving these tank beams room. We're about to have circles. It's marked as dodge on bigwigs. Watching my feet. And you want to be very careful when you're moving. You see these tangles. Those with the mess that you see on your screen, those can be easy to clip. It's kind of hard to see your edges of your exit path, so move carefully. So here's the soak. I'm in position. Gala's taking it first. I was there in case she didn't get there, but she got there. And she's going to stop around 9 or 10 stacks, between 8 and 10. Okay, and then I'm taking it after. So it's the way that we decided to do it, is just to have the first person standing further back, and then when they are done, they step out of the way, and then the beam goes on the second person. Here we go. We're positioning again for the second part of this pattern that keeps repeating, where we all run out of this circle. So it's just a repeating pattern over and over and over. You break the tangles, and then you don't have to run out. And then you break the tangles, and then everybody does have to run out. It's just over and over for phase 1. Watching your feet, soaking the pylons when it's your turn, making sure that you don't actually accidentally touch the walls. doing your best as a ranged player to bait the circles not directly in your exit path. So you can see right here, I'm staying towards the center until this dodge is done. Dodge circles are done, and so now I know I'm free to move. I'm again not Tiger's dashing. I'm just taking it kind of slow as bear, and I'm waiting for everybody to get out of the way because I'm a little tankier, and then I snap it off to the side. I'm getting in position for my soak here. The Gala takes it first. Okay, if that happens where it alternates back and forth, it's not going to make a difference because your stacks aren't going to fall off by the time it just doesn't necessarily matter. But here I took a ton of damage. I don't know what was trucking me that hard, but I took about 10 stacks there. Here we're roaring again, moving out. So everybody snaps their tethers and then stacks on circle. We're baiting the dodge circles and then running back in. Here we're starting to get to phasing, and so we're focusing on pushing the boss now. If I believe it's 50%. I'm not a DPS player, so I don't really look at that thing. Yep, 50%. And we're positioning on circle for the melee players because we want to use the old gooped up areas. So melee go on circle and range should be going over on purple. The reason I was slow to get there is just because I was focusing on trying to get my ramp out here before these melee get hit. A little slow there, but and then ranged players, you want to move as far to the side as possible to give the melee room. This whole section where they're, tucked up against the goop, it's very, very difficult for them to survive if they're very crowded because they have no room to dodge, and then a dodge circle, a purple circle, drops on top of them, and suddenly they have nowhere to move. They have to dip into the goop, and then they just get one tapped. So this phase alternates back and forth between a melee soak and then a ranged soak. So the melee soak is, let me just make sure real quick that I'm not getting pinged to come back. Oh, we're good. The melee soak is facing towards the wall, and then the tank should angle the ranged soak to slice across towards the range. So you can see right here, he's pointing it over to hit all the ranged players. The soak is actually not the dangerous part. The soak is pretty dangerous, but this pushback hurts really bad. As a druid, I'm alternating between like bark skin and iron bark and stuff, and I'm pushing bear every single time just to give that extra little survival against the burst of damage, and then alternating between like health stone, health pot, renewal right before the damage hits. That way I'm topped up because it's very easy to run out of defensive juice with at this point in the season with this gear. If you're watching this later, it might not be as big of a deal, but it hurts a lot. This phase two, like phase one is kind of a joke for healing. It's not too bad. Phase two is a lot. So as a resto druid, you can pretty much just keep perma ramping, and you're either going to hit either the soak or the pushback. So it's pretty forgiving with the amount of damage that's going out as far as your ramps go, which is nice. And here we just got to kind of finish it. Right now we're just calling everybody to, get in the soak. Make sure that you're in the soak, because if not enough people soak, then the boss gets a shield, and it's pretty much a wipe because you'll just run out of room. And we get the kill. So, took us way longer than it should have, honestly. It really came down to preparation and stuff, but the big things again are having people get used to watching their feet and not getting hit by the purple circles, getting used to the whole pylon soaking thing, and having people who are not soakers watch out for their positioning so they're not taking random damage for that, and then just mastering this run out phase of snapping the tethers responsibly so that it does not stun and kill other people. If somebody does get stunned, it's not a death sentence immediately. You can actually external them and priest grip them out or something like that, and they oftentimes will survive. Usually people die when we run out of priest grips. If you have any questions, please hit me up in the comments. Otherwise, I hope you have a great time on Loom'ithar, and I wish you and your guild the best with your progression. See you in the next one.